Azerbaijani forces are using banned cluster bombs on their Armenia enemies as sides battle over disputed Nagorno-Karabakh, Western journalists confirm. Azerbaijani forces are using banned cluster bombs on Armenian forces as they the countries battle, Western journalists have confirmed. The two countries have reported at least 266 deaths since fighting in the Nagorno-Karabakh territory broke out on September 27, including 45 civilians. Yesterday there were reports that cluster bombs, which spread explosive bomblets when detonated, were being used. Small undetonated bomblets have been seen littering the streets of Stepanakert, Nagorno-Karabakh's capital following heavy shelling by Azerbaijani forces, according to the Daily Telegraph. According to Nagorno-Karabakh officials, about 220 servicemen on their side have died in the clashes since then. The state-run Armenian Unified Infocenter said 21 civilians have been killed in the region and 82 others wounded. Azerbaijani authorities have not given details about military casualties, but said 25 civilians had been killed and 127 wounded. Neither Armenia nor Azerbaijan have signed the International Convention on Cluster Munitions, which has 109 countries' signatures, including Britain's, agree to stop using the explosive device, since 2010. Speaking about the munitions, which are produced by Azerbaijani weapon suppliers Israel and Turkey, Tim Ripley, a writer and defense analyst for Jane's Defense Weekly, told the Daily Telegraph, "We can't be certain why these were in use or what exactly they were being aimed at, but any kind of cluster munition being used in an urban area opens the possibility of civilians being inadvertently killed or injured." Separatist forces in Karabakh, an ethnic Armenian enclave that broke away from Azerbaijan in the 1990s, reported firefights along the front line on Monday with the regional capital Stepanakert under heavy artillery fire. Azerbaijan's defense ministry said Armenian forces were shelling 3 of its towns, after hitting the country's second-largest city Ganja on Sunday. The clashes broke out on September 27, reigniting a decades-old conflict between the ex-Soviet neighbors over Karabakh and threatening to draw in regional powers like Russia and Turkey. Neither side has shown any sign of backing down, ignoring international calls for a ceasefire and a return to long-stalled negotiations on the region. Stepanakert, a city of some 50,000 in the heart of the mountainous region, has been under steady artillery fire since Friday, with residents cramming into underground shelters and many leaving. The separatists' foreign ministry said Monday that shelling of Stepanakert had resumed at 6:30 a.m. 0230 GMT, with 4 shells hitting the city. It released video footage of repeated bursts of heavy shelling and of debris from seriously damaged blocks of flats, claiming Azerbaijan had used cluster munitions. Azerbaijan said Armenian forces were shelling the towns of Beyligan, Barda, and Terter. The International Committee of the Red Cross on Sunday condemned the reports of indiscriminate shelling and other alleged unlawful attacks using explosive weaponry in cities, towns and other populated areas. Armenia and Azerbaijan have resisted international calls for a ceasefire, and clashes have intensified in recent days, with both sides claiming victories on the front and saying they are inflicting heavy losses. In a fiery address to the nation, Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev set conditions for a halt to the fighting that would be near impossible for Armenia to accept. He said that Armenian forces must leave our territories, not in words but in deeds, and provide a timetable for a full withdrawal. Yerevan must also recognize the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, apologize to the Azerbaijani people, and admit that the region is not part of Armenia, Aliyev said. President Ilham Aliyev said, "Nagorno-Karabakh is our land. We have to go back there, and we are doing it now. This is the end. We showed them who we are. We are chasing them like dogs." Sirens were sounding and explosions were heard at regular intervals in Stepanakert, where residents were taking shelter, including several families in the basement of the city's Holy Mother of God Cathedral. Armenia's foreign ministry said Stepanakert and other towns had been hit, accusing Azerbaijani forces of the deliberate targeting of the civilian population. There were reports of dead and wounded civilians in Stepanakert and the historic town of Shusha. Azerbaijan said Ganja was under shell fire, including from areas outside of Karabakh in Armenian territory, with at least one civilian killed. Karabakh's separatist forces said they had targeted and destroyed an airbase in Ganja, but Baku denied this as a provocation.